In this video, we'll uncover the raw reality of masturbation in old age, from its empowering benefits to the emotional challenges that many face. Stay tuned until the end as we reveal how finding balance can profoundly shape your well-being, both physically and emotionally. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to do so and receive notifications. Have you ever wondered how self-pleasure changes as we age? The truth is that masturbation can take on entirely new meanings in our golden years, offering comfort, connection, and healing. But what happens when it shifts from a healthy habit to something more complex? Belle will keep you informed about all of our most recent stuff. I would love to know what you think about today's topic. If you find the content interesting, please leave a remark below. If not, leave a 0. Your input is very important to me since it helps me make better films that reflect your interests. Let's begin. Let's begin deconstructing the often misunderstood and extremely delicate subject of pleasure in old age, as we dispel the myths and confront the harsh reality of how this private practice can influence people's lives through both its liberating joys and its more nuanced emotional undertones. We aim this conversation to resonate with adults, especially those who are embarking on the significant journey of their later years. Regardless of age, the ability to produce physical pleasure while releasing pent-up emotional tension is an indisputable aspect of the human experience. However, as we age, this practice takes on new layers of complexity as the body, once driven by youthful intensity, begins to transition through a host of natural changes. Masturbation is much more than just a physical act. It is an exploration of one's innermost desires and a sanctuary of self-connection that can soothe the mind, body, and soul. Hormonal changes alter physical sensitivity and the cycles of desire, yet despite these inevitable bodily changes, pleasure does not diminish. Rather, it only becomes more complex, intimate, and profound for individuals in their golden years. As testosterone and estrogen levels decline, masturbation can become a very personal means of regaining a close relationship with one's aging body. Self-stimulation becomes an empowering act of rediscovery, free from the frequently overwhelming expectations or pressures that intimacy and youth can bring. It is a space where one can reconnect with the body's needs and desires. While sexual desire may not ignite as intensely as it once did, it persists, poised for quieter, more profound exploration. Recognizing that pleasure remains a legitimate, life-affirming feeling at any age offers significant emotional and physical advantages. Regular self-pleasure provides numerous benefits, particularly for older individuals, as per a medical study. Perhaps more importantly, the emotional and psychological benefits are incalculable. Physically, it helps to maintain blood flow to the vaginal area, ensuring that critical tissues stay healthy and resistant to atrophy, a common issue due to inactivity. Masturbation releases endorphins, strong happiness chemicals that eliminate stress, anxiety, and even depression. This exercise serves as a reminder that we are still alive, capable of joy, and worthy of profound personal fulfillment in ways that few other pursuits can in old age. We embrace the notion that the journey of pleasure continues in various, yet equally lovely ways until the very end of life. When an elderly person engages in masturbation, it serves as a method to acknowledge their body's desires without shame, guilt, or social criticism, have a longer-lasting effect on their general well-being rather than just a brief period of physical relief, especially when it comes to enhancing sleep quality in later life, when getting enough sleep is crucial for preserving both mental and physical health, as well as the ensuing relaxation. Self-gratification can reduce stress and promote a more restful night's sleep. In a world where growing older frequently brings with it feelings of vulnerability, loss of control, and occasionally even a disconnection from one's own body, psychologically, masturbation plays a much larger role than one might initially imagine. Masturbation transforms into a potent instrument for fostering self-awareness, self-compassion, and restoring a sense of agency over one's body that aging may have taken away. Masturbation provides a pathway to regain some of that control. It's a chance to feel in tune with oneself and experience one's physical form as a source of comfort rather than disappointment. However, like all enjoyable activities, there exists a boundary that, if crossed, can transform this intimate practice from beneficial to potentially harmful. We should not ignore the physical and emotional consequences of excessive or compulsive masturbation, especially at an older age. This renewed connection boosts self-esteem and helps people develop a more positive and accepting view of their aging bodies, which can be incredibly empowering. Physically overstimulating the genital nerves can result in heightened sensitivity, which may initially seem desirable, but can eventually cause discomfort or a temporary decrease in sensation. This hypersensitivity can initiate a frustrating cycle where individuals require more intense stimulation to achieve the same level of pleasure. This, in turn, leads to a growing sense of dissatisfaction and even anxiety, as the one act of self-pleasure no longer provides the same level of fulfillment. However, the most important effect of excessive masturbation in old age is not physical. It's emotional. In my experience, as our social ties deteriorate, many older folks resort to masturbation as a means of escaping more agonizing emotions of loneliness, worry, or melancholy. Could make family dynamics weaker. When things change and many people face the isolating silence of life without the constant company of loved ones, masturbation can provide a momentary reprieve and a means of temporarily putting aside the pain of loneliness. However, when it becomes the primary or only source of comfort, it can deepen the emotional void and create a vicious cycle of dependency that further isolates the individual. While masturbation and moderation can be a healthy part of one's sexual expression, when it becomes a substitute for human interaction and emotional fulfillment, it can leave a person feeling more alone than ever, wrapped in a bubble of self-imposed isolation. In the end, balance is key. Masturbation can be a deeply rewarding and healing practice in old age, offering physical relief, emotional connection, and a sense of empowerment. However, when it exceeds its limits, it can transform into a diminished form, resulting in emotions such as frustration, loneliness, and emotional dependency. This emotional isolation can be particularly dangerous for older adults because it frequently goes unnoticed. Finding that balance is a personal process that calls for integrity. Self-awareness and, above all, self-compassion are more important than seeking affection or emotional support from others. Some people may gradually distance themselves from the outside world by using self-stimulation as a substitute. Dependence on masturbation can result in increased emotional detachment and a deep sense of loneliness. What are the findings of medical research regarding masturbation in old age? From a clinical standpoint, masturbation is not always harmful. In fact, it has many health advantages. Like any action, excessive engagement can lead to unanticipated negative effects that could impact both the body and the mind. Numerous studies have emphasized the possible negative effects of compulsive masturbation in older adults, especially when it turns into their main method of releasing emotions or sexual tension. Excessive self-stimulation can lead to physical and mental exhaustion by causing fatigue in both sexual and general energy levels. As we know, maintaining an active lifestyle through physical exercise is key for older persons, since it encourages vital everyday activities, and this weariness can make it more difficult to maintain the energy and drive needed to do so. Mobility improves cardiovascular health and builds muscle, but excessive masturbation can sap the motivation or drive required for exercise, resulting in a more sedentary lifestyle that has its own health risks as people age, including a higher risk of heart disease, loss of muscle tone, and decreased flexibility. Please leave a comment below to let me know whether you are continuing to watch this video with me and whether you find these teachings helpful. Physical consequences. While many older persons live alone and may resort to masturbation as a way to satisfy their sexual demands, it's also crucial to take into account how excessive self-stimulation can affect interpersonal connections during this later stage of life. Those who are in relationships face additional complications in cases where a person is in a long-term partnership. Frequent or compulsive masturbation can gradually take the place of shared intimacy. This shift can create a growing emotional and physical distance between partners, replacing the deep connection and affection that once bonded them with an individual act that leaves little room for mutual pleasure. The result can be a relationship that feels disconnected, where one or both partners feel neglected or unsatisfied emotionally and physically. For those in this situation, finding a balance is essential. It is important to ensure that masturbation does not become a replacement for intimacy with a partner, but rather a complement to the shared connection. This can prevent it from becoming a barrier to the loving and intimate contact that keeps relationships strong and healthy on an emotional and psychological level. Excessive masturbation can trigger a range of negative emotions, especially for individuals who grew up in cultures that stigmatized, shamed, or concealed sexuality. Many older adults still carry these deep-seated beliefs, which can result in an internal struggle when they engage in self-stimulation. For these individuals, the pleasure derived from masturbation may be immediately followed by feelings of guilt, shame, or remorse. This conflict between the desire for pleasure and the ingrained belief that such acts are morally wrong can create an emotional burden, weighing heavily on their self-esteem and mental well-being. This ongoing internal conflict can further exacerbate feelings of loneliness and isolation, as the individual may feel trapped in a cycle of pleasure followed by self-judgment. It is important to understand that these emotions are common, especially for people who grew up in more conservative or repressive cultures. Nevertheless, confronting these feelings head-on and working towards self-acceptance can be immensely liberating in the end. The mental toll of this battle can erode emotional health, leading to anxiety, depression, and a diminished sense of self-worth. Even while moderate masturbation in old age can have many positive effects on one's physical and mental health, it's crucial to be aware of the risks associated with an excessive reliance on self-stimulation. As we age, self-awareness and self-compassion become even more crucial in maintaining a fulfilling, balanced life. Realizing that sexuality, even in later stages of life, remains a natural, beautiful, and profoundly positive aspect of human existence is crucial in these situations. Needless guilt or shame should never burden it. Finding a healthy balance is especially important for those in relationships to ensure that masturbation serves as a positive aspect of one's sexual and emotional well-being rather than a source of disconnection or shame. Even in old age, the capacity to connect with one's body through sexual pleasure is not only normal, but also a useful way to express oneself and let go of emotions. However, when masturbation becomes an emotional escape that takes the place of meaningful human interaction, it may indicate a more serious problem that requires attention. In such cases, it's crucial to seek help. Beyond the temporary gratification of self-stimulation, alternative types of emotional support, such as therapy, counseling, or re-establishing contact with loved ones, can provide a much-needed source of emotional nutrition. One common question that many people have is whether masturbation in old age carries any long-term physical risks. This is the crucial moment to dispel the persistent myths that have caused excessive anxiety for numerous individuals. Despite antiquated beliefs, there is no reliable medical evidence that suggests masturbation causes permanent damage to sexual organs or speeds up the aging process. Additionally, research consistently shows no connection between masturbation and sexual dysfunctions, such as impotence or erectile difficulties, or serious illnesses like prostate cancer. These falsehoods only heighten unnecessary anxiety, especially among elderly individuals who may already feel vulnerable due to their changing physical appearance. Moderation is still essential for getting the most out of masturbation without suffering any negative side effects and without posing any long-term health hazards. Overindulgence in masturbation can eventually lead to physical tiredness, as the regular release of energy, if not counterbalanced by adequate sleep or food, can leave people feeling emotionally and physically exhausted. Another possible consequence of overindulgence is a sustained decline in libido. Obsessive satiation of sexual desire can deplete one's drive, leading to a gradually growing sense of discontent or annoyance. When done mindfully and in moderation, masturbation in old age has many physical and emotional benefits. From a physical perspective, it supports healthy blood circulation and maintains the elasticity of genital tissues, helping to maintain sexual function. It can also be a vital tool for emotional relief, especially during times of stress, anxiety, or loneliness. However, as with everything, balance is crucial. If masturbation begins to take up an excessive amount of time or becomes a crutch that takes precedence over other significant facets of life, it's time to consider what might be causing this compulsion. Is it loneliness, anxiety, or a lack of emotional connection? Regardless of the underlying cause, we must address these issues, aggressively looking for healthier ways to satisfy both physical and emotional needs. In conclusion, while masturbation is a common and healthy practice in old age, it's crucial to approach it with awareness of its limits. When done in moderation, it can provide a tremendous deal of physical and emotional fulfillment, promoting both mental clarity and sexual health. However, it's important to recognize when it starts to negatively impact other areas of life, or when it starts to replace more meaningful human connections. Hobbies, social interactions, or physical activities like yoga or walking can facilitate this. Elderly people can profit from self-gratification without losing sight of the larger social and emotional ties that help enhance life. We appreciate your participation in this in-depth and significant conversation about enjoying yourself in old age. We are eager to hear about the lessons you've learned thus far, as well as the one thing you've learned today that you plan to implement. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this video, please leave a comment and remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more thought-provoking videos like this one. Your support enables us to continue bringing these crucial discussions to light.